Okay. Okay. Dang, I wish I had this stuff. Oh, I should have did that. The volume going because we're here. Let's get the volume going, baby. Hey, can I get on one in the chat? We sound good. Hey, we got a quick stream. Quick stream. Bam, in and out. All right, this is not going to be a 2 hour stream. We're going to be moving. I'm going to be moving over to Bleach Report at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're in here and you want to talk more about this, let's do it, man. Follow me over there. Actually, because of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a link to that. Let me get that link. Let me get that link generated. I'll throw it in the chat while we're here and while we're live. That way you guys can jump over there right after this one, right after we're done here. But I was just like, hey, what's the fastest thing that I can do? A live stream or a video? Probably a lot faster if I just do a live stream. Okay, let me boom. We got the link. Let me drop the link in here. So this is 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We're switching over here. I just want to jump in because I was like, yo, we have to talk about this. This is massive news. All right, we have to discuss this a little bit. And if you haven't seen the news, I'm going to get the official like notification here. Let me go grab it. And this is from, I think Adam Schefter posted this actually. I'm sure they all did because it was big NFL news and not much is happening right now. So, okay, here we go. We got the news. I'm going to share it. The deal has been done. Chat, the deal has been done. Jared Goff has gotten paid. I got to be honest, man. This is one of those. And here we go. So, okay, boom. This probably isn't like the best view of this, but okay, let's just go to hit my man Sting right here. So, boom, there's the details. Jared Goff has gotten paid. And as you can see, let me move myself right there. The Lions and Jared Goff has agreed on a 4-year, $212 million extension, which that is, and let me turn this beat down a little bit. That is $53 million per year. For anybody wondering, that's $53 million per season, which I believe places him second. Yeah, places him second right now amongst all NFL quarterbacks in per year money to Joe Burrow, who's at $55 million. And also, as you can see, $170 million guaranteed. Now, we don't know exactly what the guarantees are here specifically, so that's something we're going to have to, we'll figure that out. The quarterback, here's the thing, the quarterback contracts, I'll say this right away, quarterback contracts are so much different than every other contract. Like, obviously, there's a whole bunch of things from the outside looking in that like can pop up that maybe I'm just not aware of or that we're not as aware of as a public, but quarterback contracts have so many like intricate details. They are set up so creatively, and they're all different, whether that's Justin Herbert versus Jalen Hurts, so much of that. But and I love it, Nate. Hey, Jared Goff. Hey, yo, can I find that clip? Oh, I can find that clip. I'll find that before we get out of here. But just keep that in mind. $170 million guaranteed, which would place him sixth right now, according to Over the Cap in terms of guaranteed money. That would be right behind, I believe that's right behind Kyler Murray. No, that's right behind Jalen Hurts, who's at $179 million. I think it's right behind Jalen Hurts. I can get the exact player there, but that's the sixth high. So we'll have to see how that's set up. Here's the thing I would also say about this to kind of keep in mind. So this is a 4-year deal they're telling us, which would be off of the fact that he's already under contract this season. So I guess in a way you could kind of look at it like a 5-year deal. All right. So he's kind of locked up for 5 years now. The second thing I would also keep an eye on is they don't really need to open up any cap space. So I would assume they didn't really touch that. But if you just look at some of the examples around contracts in the league, like for example, if you looked at Jalen Hurts' deal and you looked at how his was set up, his was extremely team friendly. His void year, the last year of his contract was like $97 million. And every single season, he essentially had no base salary. He took a very team-friendly deal. And even though he signed for a contract that was, let me get the exact number here. It was a massive contract. I didn't write it down. Okay, it was similar to this. Even though he signed that massive contract, his cap number was not, it was nowhere near like the per year number that we know of, just by how they set up the contract. And a lot of these deals as well with quarterbacks, they'll also create like either an out, which I don't think is usually for quarterbacks like as straightforward as like, okay, last year we're just going to cut the guy. Sometimes you have those options because guarantees kind of go away in the contract. And then obviously you'll also see you'll see a lot of times the cap number will rise because they'll just put a lot more money back there just with less guarantees, just to kind of inflate the deal. Like we saw that with receivers, for example, Tyreek Hill. But then there's also, they not like us. Hey, so then there's that aspect of it. But usually, and for the quarterback, it'll probably be more of an out of like, hey, we can either extend this, we could drop this cap number by extending it, potentially restructuring his deal. So just keep that in mind. Really, the $53 million per season is kind of what I'm not going to say we projected. I think you guys did. I mean, we were here live. Our last show was on Friday, and shout out to everybody that's in here, man. This is going to be a quick stream. The link is in the chat. We're going to be moving over to Bleacher Report here at 5:30. So if you want to continue this conversation, join me. I just wanted to discuss this because it was live. I'm not going to put myself in timeout. Don't know why that's an option. But I think last time we were live, like I used $50 million per season as an example, and we included $50 million per year. But we know that the cap number is not going to be that per season, even though he's making $53 million per year, likely, unless they front loaded the heck out of it for some reason. But they're not going to do that. So we were actually kind of in the ballpark here. And I know a lot of you guys in the chat were saying 51, 52, 53. So this number kind of fell in, I think, where most of us expected it. But it's all in the details. It's not going to be about that total. It's all in the details with this contract. But I will say, and I could throw it up for anybody that is here, financially, the Detroit Lions could make this work. And I think on Friday, when we dug into that, it was really trying to paint that picture of like, yeah, Lions could do this. They can absolutely do this. And we kind of broke it down with where they're at for the next couple of seasons. Like, they can financially afford this, even if we were going on the very conservative side, saying each next couple of years it was $50 million, which again, it won't be that. All right. They're gonna likely have it lower than that. $440 million with 3 people. And that sounds crazy because it is crazy. It is crazy. I hear a lot of talk about like, ownership. Hey, they don't have that money. All right. Hey, Sheila Hemp got that money though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we should all know this, but like they got a little bit of money. That's what I'll say. All right. They're handing out some guaranteed money left and right. So they had the money to make it all happen in one off season. But at the same time, man, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I was so hyped when I saw this. Like, straight up, chat. Give me your initial reactions. Give me some emojis. How you feeling after seeing this news? Straight up, I was pumped. I was so pumped. Yeah, it's three freaking studs, 3 dogs, man. St. Brown, Sewell, Goff. They all deserve an extension. I think Brad Holmes said it best. Hey, everybody. Hey, that might be facts. That might be facts. Help them out a little bit. Help them out because they're keep taking care of our coaches. We don't get to see those salaries, but we know where that money's coming from. I think that's where. You know what I'm saying? Keep paying those guys. But, they're getting results. They're not afraid to throw that money out there. I'm not mad at them. I'm happy they're doing this. But this move specifically, and I see you with the sunglasses, you feel like this is cool? I think it's like titled as cool when you put I don't know. Point is, I was pumped to see this news, man, because this is something that we've talked about so many times on this channel. Like, bro, if this isn't your first show watching me or like one of the first shows that you've seen me, and for most of you, I know it isn't because I see you guys in the chat like all the time. But you know that this is something that we have talked about for so long over here, bro. I mean, I got the amount of times I can't even find exact clips, but I'm sure if I just picked random videos from off seasons in my history of is Goff going to be paid there? I can remember joining shows as a guest, first time shows, and it was always about Goff. Hey, is he getting that extension? Is he the bridge quarterback? And bro said since day one, like, no, he's not the bridge quarterback. We think he's going to get an extension here. All right, this is going to be the long-term option. And I'm really happy to see that this panned out. First off, personally speaking, all right, I'm very happy for the Goff family as a Lions fan that he's going to stick around here. Okay. I think ever since, and here's what I'll say, ever since they came to Detroit, right? Ever since that family has gotten here around that quarterback, bro, there's been, I've just from my perspective, I believe there's been an energy about it. There's been an energy about it. Like, we know this thing is going to turn around. It's just almost like when, but it's going to happen. Like it was never like, I don't know if this is going to work. It was always like, it's going to happen. Just give it a second. It's going to happen. And then it did. So that aspect of it, I absolutely, you absolutely love that. And it's happened. So there's always just been kind of that confidence, like, this is going to work itself out. And, there's more pieces that go into that. So that's the first thing from a leadership side. You just kind of get that vibe. I think it's the right vibe to have from a quarterback. There's a real confidence and just belief that this thing was going to work out. I also think that in a way, like, Chad, doesn't in a way this kind of just represent us perfectly? Love this signing. Like, it feel like it kind of represents the Lions perfectly, like who they are, right? What they're about. Like, hey, man, we're about, it's like the opportunities that we've given to guys. We've given you an opportunity. You can prove yourself. You can make this team, right? You can get playing time if you prove yourself. Doesn't matter where you're drafted, right? They tell us these things. And this feels like the perfect example of that, because when this trade went down, guys, when this trade went down, I could actually find a reaction to it. We mainly talked about Stafford, because I didn't know as much about Goff, but it was also about like, hey, look, there's an out in this contract. There's outs in this contract. We're fine, right? There's less risk here. 2 years in that we can get out. That was like the main discussion, is like hey, calm down. We have an out in this contract. And now here we are years later, it's never even really become a thing. Like, well, there's an out in this deal. Right. It's like this team has turned around. He's played his butt off the last couple of seasons. Towards the end of the first season, it's never really became a conversation. And now here we are, highest paid Lion in Detroit history. I just think overall it's beautiful how this is panned out, and it like so much so represents what the Lions want to be, which is, hey, we're giving you a shot here. We believe in the guy, regardless of what happened. If we believe in you, we're going to give you that opportunity. And if you make the most of it, we're going to pay you. And obviously, there's little things that go into that. It's a little bit difficult. We do not have the details yet. I haven't seen them yet. If you guys find, definitely send them over because, like I said, that's going to tell a story. I'm sure it'll be a couple weeks, at least a week. But yeah, you know that that's all. It's all in the details, right? But yeah, no, this is the guy that represents what the Lions want to be. And your quarterback usually is kind of like that guy. You know, he's a leader. He represents your team, I think, in a lot of ways. Like who you are is represented by your quarterback. And this guy perfectly represents what the Lions want to be as a culture from the crazy situation that it was, but also come here and just like, it was just like it. You kind of just forgot about it. It was like, we don't care about that. I'm going to go prove myself here. You're giving me a shot to do so. And the Lions and Brad Holmes specifically, a guy that, again, he believed in, he never wavered on the player. Like there was never an instance. I mean, was there ever an instance that we felt as fans like that Brad was like, well, maybe Brad Holmes is going to do something here. I mean, even when he drafted the quarterback, it still wasn't like, yeah, something's going to go down. I mean, there was they could have taken one, for a year. Like we may have had those discussions, but Brad never even like tapped into that. It's like, yeah, he's the guy, right? He's not a bridge quarterback. So I love this has worked out because it just beautifully represents what the Lions want to be. And I think that's amazing. So Jared Goff getting paid right here, I think it's extremely well-deserved. I'm super happy that this happened. And man, I'll tell you what, I think if anything, this just elongates the Detroit Lions Super Bowl window. Like, I think some people may look at it the other way. I look at it that way, that this is actually the extension of the Super Bowl window, because here's what we also have to keep in mind, and we can throw up that chart again if we want to, but it's also the aspect that when Goff was traded, like when he got that first initial deal with the LA Rams, he was the highest paid quarterback in football, which he's technically not right now. He was the highest paid quarterback in football at that time. And we won on the last couple of years of his contract. We went to the NFC Championship with a crazy high cap hit. Like we won with that number. And I think this now, depending on how they set it up, again, I assume there's going to be some sort of out towards the end of the deal, but like this to me just expands that opportunity to continue winning as a football team, because now you have your guy. And I also think that, there's going to be, you always have options. If you're not paying a quarterback, you always have options to get out of deals. But no, this is awesome. I mean, this is awesome. It's a win-win. If we can't afford people, we'll get comp picks. This is true as well. I think that's worth bringing up. But again, I don't think we're going to have an issue affording people. I really don't. Like we looked at the numbers, the kind of like rough estimate. We used $50 million cap it, and that was probably on the high side. And we would be fine. Like financially we'd be fine. Now, yes, to your point, like there's certain at times at positions you'd have to move on. I think in a way we're kind of seeing that where it's like, okay, what positions, and I was thinking about this, like what positions could you look at the Lions and say, hey, this is an area where the Lions could start to kind of take that next step forward. In this case, this offseason, it was at the guard position, right? It was Jonah Jackson, who was like, okay, Jonah Jackson, he's played fine, hasn't really ever elevated his play as a Detroit Lion. And instead of paying that money, which I'll admit, I thought they would, like, me and Rad would talk about it. I was like, oh, don't pay him. But then, came to the offseason, like, I think they're going to pay him. It's offensive lineman. He's still young. Like, I think they're going to pay him. He adds so much athleticism. And the Lions, instead of doing that, they were like, no, let's not do that. We, signed our, bridge player. This is definitely a bridge player in Kevin Zeitler. But then you also went back-to-back, drafted 2 guards. So it's like, or potentially guards there. So it's also like you're preparing in that way. Like, so I don't think the Lions ever going to really have an issue with that. Like they're going to be able to make this work. Other quarterbacks, other teams around the league make it work with higher cap percentages. Again, I think the key comes back to the Lions continuing to knock down that dead cap. But then again, we've also seen teams with dead cap win, but usually that's when you're not paying quarterback outside of like the Stafford Rams year, because he was getting paid. They were also paying the Goff dead cap and they won the Super Bowl. Most of the time though, like if you can keep that dead cap down, you can also pay your quarterback. And with us believing that the Detroit Lions can draft like they do, and we've seen that, as long as you're drafting those guys and you're extending your guys that earn it, you shouldn't have too many issues where you fall into the dead cap. Like if we look at it, and we really don't have a great example of this, of like a guy that we drafted, then we extended, then we're like, dang, this did not work out. It's mainly more so been the free agents, whether that's Romeo Okwara due to injury, who we didn't see as a Lion with this regime, but they extended him. It's mainly been that where we've seen some of those things pop up, but really not with the draft picks. Don't forget best availability. I don't want to read this out loud, but it's absolutely true. I don't want to read it out loud, but it's absolutely true. Told you, SOL. Hey, yo, hold up, Mark. You told me what? You told me what? I thought Raiders fans, Jared Goff is only quarterback Brad Holmes ever had. Wait. Oh, I hear what you're saying, Mark. I hear what you're saying. Look, I don't. I think I understand what you're saying here, but I don't know if I understand what I'm saying here. You may have to put that again. I think I know what you're saying, but I don't think I know what you're saying. I think you're feeling the re-signing. I can't really tell exactly. But okay, I think I got you there. Yeah. Also keep in mind that the Lions do have, or not the Lions, but yeah, we have Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott. I don't think they're going to pay Dak. To be honest, I don't think they're going to pay Dak. We'll see on that one. But also Lions getting ahead of that could have helped them a little. You love it. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I think that's what he's saying. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I hear you. It just sucks. Hate to see Terrion go after 4 years because we can't. This won't happen. This won't happen. If Terrion, like, look, there's gonna have to be decisions that we make, but we can't just randomly say things like that. Like, we're not gonna be able to forward Terrion because it happens. Again, here's the thing I would say. By the time, let's just use Terrion for example. By the time Terrion becomes a free agent, Terrion's going to be, as you pointed out, if he doesn't get the 5th-year option, which is also something you have to keep in mind because the last 5th-year option we just gave out was Penei Sewell. The Detroit Lions folded it into his new extension. So they essentially dropped the 5th-year option by $10 million. His cap is still under $10 million for the season. So let's keep that in mind. It'll also be towards the end of Jared Goff's new deal, which will probably have a lot of flexibility and likely whatever the Lions decide to do at that time, it's probably going to be restructure, it's going to be extend, or it's going to be a situation of just move off the quarterback. But there's going to be movement. Like, I assume how this is going to get set up, that the final year, maybe even year or two, that it's not going to be a situation where the Lions don't touch his number at all. And honestly, since he's gotten here, right, we've seen, I think twice, the Lions have restructured his contract. And that's typically what we see with quarterbacks. Like, for example, we got the massive deal with Patrick Mahomes. They're expecting to restructure that within 2026. It's kind of like with some of these receivers, they're more clear, so outs, but this deal will continue to get moved. So I would say keep that in mind first off, that there's going to be flexibility on both sides. So just keep that in mind. The Lions aren't, and we've already, like I said, we've already kind of pulled these numbers up. The Lions aren't going to be in a spot where they just can't pay anybody because now they pay their quarterbacks. Other teams do this. The Lions can absolutely do this. They have the structure to do this. You just have to be able to do, I think, lower dead cap. You can't have $60 million dead cap, or I think you're going to put yourself into a spot. Is he really deserving of $53 million? Here's the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Yes, but as we know, quarterbacks are all timing. So right now, second highest paid in terms of per year, but 6th highest paid in terms of guarantees by this initial report. I think that's also key because of the timing of this. For him to be 6th highest paid, it's not towards the top. But then, yeah, again, if you look at, like, here, let me actually show you just before we keep it moving here, because we got a few minutes before I'm going to transition over, man. Hey, top link, man. Top link. We're going to go there at 5:30. We're going to Bleacher Report, man, and continue talking about this. So Jalen Hurts, let me find the exact number here. He was given at his time, 5-year, $255 million, which was, I think, just under in terms of per year. I should be able to do that math in my head, but hold up. 5-year, 255, 51 million. Okay, so essentially the same thing. Now, if you also then look at how they set up, I'm not saying the Lions did this. He took a team-friendly deal, right? But if you look at how they set it up, let's just keep it simple. Look at the cap numbers, right? Now, you got rookie deal, but look at where the cap numbers are: 21, 31, 41, 47. Like, these are all extremely reasonable. Actually, 13.3% is lower than what Goff's cap percentage was last season, which was 13.7%. So we have to keep in mind that the details are everything about this. And again, you can see he did that with just basically no base salary. The void year is holding $97 million. Like, there's going to be something that comes up at that time. They're going to have to make a decision. They'll probably extend him again. That's probably their vision. He'll be 30 years old. They'll probably look to extend him again, assuming everything goes right. And then they'll kind of push all that void money back into the new deal. But I think that's the key of this, is we know it's all in the details with the quarterback position. But at the same time, like, it's not really crazy. Like, could have $2 million made a difference per year? Like, yeah, I guess every little bit does help, but that number would have just made me, I don't know if it would have really done anything. Like, I mean, we'll just have to see on the details. That's what we got to wait for. I think the only thing we could really focus on right now is Goff getting paid as a Lion, getting paid as the quarterback market typically fits, and being deserving, in my opinion, of this. And as a Lions fan, I'm just super happy because, man, ever since he got here, man, and I was actually looking back, it's weird. Like, I was walking around today and I was like, should I go find clips of us talking about Goff in the past? Because this thing's going to get done. We just got a report like a day ago is going to get done. Brad Holmes told us he was deserving. I'm like, he's going to pay this guy at some point. And I didn't. That's on me. I just been watching Terrion Arnold. By the way, that's the next video coming out. All right, Terrion's next video coming out. It's going to be out hopefully here soon. Maybe tonight. I don't know, though. Worst case, hopefully tomorrow. That's going to be out, though, soon. But yeah. Okay, we're getting ready to transition, man. Goff MVP season incoming. I love that. Best way to get rid of players is not paying them. We deserve it. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of deep. Would you take 2021 year Stafford staying in Detroit, or Goff for my quarterback next season? I take Jared Goff. I mean, I got no reason to not take Jared Goff at this point. Also, you're saying you take 2021 Stafford when he won the Super Bowl? Yo, I will say this though. Here's the thing I would say is unfair about that is I think Stafford in 2021 was the best quarterback in the NFL. Right? Was that the Super Bowl year, or was that the year before he left? If it's the Super Bowl year, I mean, years are kind of mixed up. I thought he was the best quarterback in the NFL that season, to be fair. But for where we're at, like extending Goff at this time to what someone already said about availability, where his age is at, like it makes a ton more sense. We don't know how long Stafford has actually got left. I ordered my first blue home Goff jersey. You just ordered that now, D-Ray, and then you dropped the $199, D-Ray. You crazy. I appreciate you, man. What up, Dose? Hey, what up, man? How you doing? It's good to see you in here. Okay, so let me do this because we only have a few minutes and we're going to have to transition over. If you guys did not see our show from last time, I would say definitely go check it out. We did it on Friday. We essentially talked about the entire situation of, paying Jared Goff because we were anticipating that it was going to happen. So I want to throw this up. And again, not everything here is accurate. A lot of these are rough estimates, but I want to throw this up before we dip out of here. And again, click that top link, man, because that's where we're going to be going in a few minutes here. But we used this to kind of showcase, just kind of an idea using Spotrac, using their numbers, that if Goff was making $50 million, if we just simplified it, which again, I don't expect it to even be that high. We know that his total is going to be there, but I don't expect cap hit for the next couple of seasons is going to be $50 million. But even if it was, that the Lions financially, based on how we kind of broke it down, will be somewhere in a range between like $34 million in terms of cap space after having paid Jared Goff at that point in time, right? So, and if before Jared Goff, it was 31% of the cap. And again, I assume it to be even higher than that the Lions will have available because I don't think the cap number is even going to get that high. So financially, the Lions are going to be able to make this work. Also, you can see who's under contract next season. Now, officially, Jared Goff is. The Lions have a lot of their cornerstones already in place, and that's because they're drafting so well. So that helps a ton. But also, I mean, I think in a way we got to look at it like this. Like, is this also then where the Lions are going to have to say, okay, it's kind of, okay, so everybody likes to use this. Not everybody could be a Detroit Lion, right? Not everybody can play for the Detroit Lions. So maybe this is just where the Detroit Lions, it's tough as the decisions are, now they're going to have to start to get picky. Like you have to get to that point where it's like, okay, you were good last season. You may not have been elite. You were good last season. That may not be enough. Being good might not be enough. And not even just being good, not showing growth. If you're the same, you're good, but you were the same good last season. We felt the similar way about you, and you didn't necessarily take another leap. Now that's where, maybe you have to start getting like, hey, we have to get a little picky. Like that wasn't enough. We needed to see growth. We didn't get that growth. And one thing you have to say about Goff, you can't argue that he hasn't grown within this Lions offense, whether that's where he's taken us as a team, as a leader, which I don't know if you want to say he's grown there. I think he has, because I think he's taken on so much more responsibility, but also just in the way that he plays, his understanding of the offense, the way that I think even just the little things, whether that's, just throwing the ball away in certain spots, right? Getting much more comfortable, getting to that third read offensively. Like, you can't argue that this guy has literally grown. Like, you can point to it and say game film. You can look at stat. You can say, oh, this guy's gotten better. So he's one of those guys that not only is playing well, but he's also growing. So Goff salary. So $53 million per year for 4 seasons, $170 million guaranteed is what we're being told at this point. So happy for Goff. Well-deserved. Chat, let's continue this conversation, man. I'm going to move to Bleacher Report right now. Y'all are killing in the chat. Y'all go crazy. We may even do a video on this. I don't know. I wasn't sure because I just want to get something out there because I knew we were going to do a show at 5:30 over there Eastern time. We're just going to talk about Jared Goff. So if you want to talk about this deal a little bit more, click that top link. Join me over there. Let's discuss this situation, man. Same kind of vibe over there as well. But overall, man, I want to jump in here, get this quick live. Feel free. I would say go check out Friday because we really broke down kind of an idea of paying Goff and what that would look like and why the Lions can financially afford it. We also broke down some clips from last season. And then also we looked at some statistics. And really the key with the statistics was it wasn't really as much statistics. It was about blitzing, handling the blitz, handling pressure. But it was also about like the games and moments that you can point to on why you would pay Jared Goff, like the reasons that you could make the case to pay Goff. So overall, I would say go check out that episode as well, because now it's aged extremely well. So join me over there, man. We're going to hop out of here. I appreciate y'all being here. We may be back again tonight. Maybe I'll do another live stream. Hey, let me know real quick. Do y'all want to see? I want to do some over-under reactions. So if you guys want to see me live again tonight, if I can't get this Terrion video done, let me know. Let me know, because I want to do some over-under stuff. And I think that would be, we could kind of discuss both at the same time. I'm going to throw in the description right now for my man that just said that. And we're going to transition, man. I appreciate y'all joining. We're going to move over there. I'll see y'all over there. Join me. Click that top link. It's in the description. Refresh your page if it's not there. And I'll see y'all over there. We out. Congratulations, Goff. Well